What do you mean you don't know anything about the Chatty Checker?
So I haven't heard it. I live in a bubble for those 4 days that I work.
So, okay, dude, you've never had a Chatty Checker at like the fucking Fred Meyer's down from your house.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm in line today and I'm chatting with the lady behind me. Obviously a working professional, like just wants to get through the line, doesn't want to chit chat too much, but you know, the checker up front is chatting with the lady in front of us. So she's like, whatever, I'll talk to you. So I kind of, you know, a little banter back and forth a little bit, and then I get up there. Mind you, this is like 5 minutes of listening to the other lady chat. And
You're
so,
just on pins and needles by this
oh
point.
fuck, I wanted to get out of here. So I get up there and she tries to chat with me, and I'm like, listen, I would normally chat with you, but this lady behind me is a working professional and just wants to get through the line. So
yeah.
let's just do this as fast as we can and get her out of here. The lady behind me actually laughed. She was like, and then like hand over the mouth and all that shit, you know? Yeah.
I have no inner monologue.
I mean, how do you deal with that normally?
I don't just, oh man. I mean, I get it. That's your job. And like, you know, intermingling with everybody. But
your fucking job is to get somebody through the line,
Well,
man. I mean, especially if there's 10 people.
But do you penalize somebody with a personality just 'cause
No,
yeah,
you don't penalize them. But if you can't work and talk, don't talk.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
Something that people want to go back to.
Yeah. What's the one right down the street here? You took me to
Three Mugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Three Mugs.
Some good
Love
stuff.
that. Love that place, and here's why. 2 reasons. One, it's like a family environment without the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows you. There's like maybe on a busy day, there's like 30, 40 people in there
Mm-hmm.
at most. And that's when the patio's open and everybody's out there having a good time. You know, you walk in, you know the lady behind the bar, you know the dude behind the bar.
So,
you know.
I've been in a few of these. Now, issue number 1 for me, usually the beer. Everywhere I go, man, I'm just like,
Yeah, you're not a real big IPA guy, are you?
no, I love a good IPA, but oh man, some of the like they're pushing blondes down your throat. It's either a light blonde that tastes, 1 degree of separation better than a Bud Light, and they're pushing that down your throat, or it's the chalkiest, shittiest. Just
So here's what I like about small breweries, or here's what a small brewery needs to be a good small brewery. You got to have selection.
yes,
You have to have selection.
Yes.
You know, you've got to have a fantastic IPA first and foremost.
and
you have to have that.
And in the last, what do we want to say, 5-10 years maybe, you got to start thinking about
The ciders.
yeah, something
So
that works
for a brewery in Portland, I think you can skip the ciders, but I don't think you want to rule them out. So the brewery that I go to all the time, they have somebody else's cider on all the time. But first and foremost, you have to have the IPA. You have to have a good IPA.
Yes.
Otherwise, people in Portland are not going to come.
Yes.
The second thing, you've got to have selection.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a good selection. And, if you've got two good IPAs on, a good stout, a good porter, something light, I don't know, like a pale, you got a good pale.
A pale, a blonde if it's good.
Yeah. Anything, ESBs, any of that stuff, as long as they're good. And you have to have the selection. You don't even have to have food. The brewery I go to, they don't have food. There's a Hawaiian restaurant around the building on the backside. And if you want food, you go up to the backside of the building, get food, or you call it in and go pick it up before you show up.
Now, believe it or not, the old hometown Cathlamet. And this is why I bring up the cider, not only because of its popularity now, but this place makes amazing ciders. They have a cherry cider.
Nice.
So good.
So there's a couple good ones here in Portland. There's one in Portland. There's one out in Forest Grove, I think. It's a Bull Run. Bull Run cider.
Bull Run sounds familiar.
Is good. And they actually have a cider room out in Forest Grove. And then what's the other one?
Yeah, see, I wasn't a big fan.
Reverend Nats.
Reverend Nats.
Yeah, they have a good one. They've actually got a lot of good ones. They had a spiced, like a jalapeno spiced pineapple one or something last year that my wife was just all about.
I'm getting a little hard over here. I've never tried that.
Yeah, so I mean, for a small brewery, you have to have the selection. You have to have the IPA. You have to have that family atmosphere. Not that the kids need to be in there. I don't think that's the thing, because I mean, let's be honest. When I go to the bar, I don't want kids sitting with me.
Well, yeah, that's pub and grill type shit,
Yeah, I mean, that's McMinimans.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go to McMinimans with the kids. You go to Three Mugs for drinking beer.
Yeah.
And bullshitting with your buddies.
I mean, there's a time and place for everything. We're not talking pub and grill. We're talking a brewery.
So the other thing they have, this is going to excite you a little bit. They have a good cigar selection.
Ooh.
They've got a good cigar selection, and they will sit outside and smoke one with you.
Is this the place down the street?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that. Huh.
Yeah. It's a good one. They got it's not like a huge selection.
No.
But they've got a couple of really nice cigars in there.
Well, that's another thing too. If you're gonna have a brewery and it's not gonna be a full-on pub and grill type establishment, have a little something on the side. Have something to go with it.
Always have something to go with it.
Yeah.
Cigar,
we're here for the beer, but
pool tables, something, right?
Yeah.
You don't even have to have that if you're one of the small ones, like I think Three Mugs they've got game boards in there, and they've got dart boards, and they've got a foosball table.
A little something to help you enjoy the brew more. Yeah, we need to go back to that place.
Yeah, we'll hit that one again. Don't worry. All right, man.
That's some tasty
Let's
stuff.
talk about my man box again. Let's get up in there.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
So I was thinking about this the other day after you left last time, and I was like, we've got to talk about hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Got to talk about hunting, because that's one of the things I don't think you need to do it, but I think you need to know how. You know what I mean?
See, now I disagree because in today's society, and we've been doing this for a century now, but you go to the store, you get your meat, your beef, your chicken, your whatever. You you don't really understand what's going on, and if you drag somebody through a slaughterhouse,
Nah,
that's
it's
that's
gross.
that's enough to make a guy go vegan,
I'm not gonna lie.
There's something to be said about, you know, catching your own meat.
I took a buddy hunting one time in high school. I think it was our senior year of high school, and we're out there, and he'd never killed anything, and his dad wasn't real interested in taking him out. So I'm like, I'll go. We'll go. Let's do this. So we get out there, and he's running around in the woods, and he'd never killed anything. So I kind of let him run around in front of me all day. One of the dudes that I trust with guns. That's not everybody.
No.
There's a few people.
No, some people make me a little nervous.
Yeah. There's a few people that I trust, not everybody. So this guy's one of them. I'm not going to give you his name because I don't think that's important.
Shit, I would know him anyway.
So we're out running around in the woods, and he's like, there's one right there. I'm like, shoot it. You think so? Does it have horns? Yeah, they're little. Like, you want some meat? Well, yeah. Shoot it.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. So he turns and he pulls up. He stands there for about 5 seconds. Boom! It dropped like a sack of fucking potatoes. He hit that thing right in the base of the neck and just down. It went down quick.
Exactly the way it should be.
It was textbook. So we get up there, and its eyes are already glossed over. It was done. So he starts asking questions because he's like, this is his first one. He never field dressed one or anything.
Fuck it, it's emotional at that point,
So he's not tearing up or anything, but it's kind of a new experience. So I'm like, all right, well, we got to get this thing gutted. So if you don't know how to field dress an animal, that's one of the things I recommend you watch on YouTube, just so you can see how to do it. You don't have to run out and do it. Just watch it. It's gross.
Yeah.
And the video doesn't do it justice because you can't smell it.
Yeah, that's a very important aspect.
You can't smell it. And so, I mean, 18 years old, I'd killed 2 elk, 2 deer, a couple of coyotes, porcupine, and a raccoon or something at this point, right? So I'm well aware of what comes next. So I'm like, get your knife out. We got to get this thing. So he pulls his knife out, and he's like, okay, what do I do? You got to make a cut from here to here. Okay. So he cuts. I'm like, not too deep. So he's like gently cutting through the hide and trying not to get the gut bag. And
trying to pull that skin back.
Yep. He gets it open. And all of a sudden I hear this. I'm like, you all right, dude?
A very natural reaction.
So at this point, I'm like, you want me to finish? It's like, no, I think I can do this. I'll keep going. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he gets a little deeper in there. And when you're getting a deer, you've got to go elbows deep.
Yeah.
There's going to be blood on your elbows when you're done.
We teach a very important skill here. It's called breathing through your mouth.
Yeah. So he gets in there and he's like, and like, you can't puke in it, dude. You got to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can do it. I can do it. All right. So he gets in there. He does a fucking half-assed hack job. Finally, I'm like, get out of the way.
Well, I mean, it's his first one.
It's his first. I give him that. It's his first. So I get in there and I'm like cutting it up and like pulling the gut bag out. I got the esophagus and I'm like pulling it out. And I finally get it all gutted out for him. And
It's not for the faint of heart.
so he had cut both of the tenderloins in half.
Oh.
And yeah, it was a bit of a hack job.
Were you helping him out here? Or
A little bit.
did you just give him like a bandsaw and send him off?
Oh no, I was trying to explain to him how to do it, but doing it and explaining it are two totally different things, right?
Yeah. Also, watching it on YouTube and doing it, two seriously different things.
Oh yeah. Totally different. So, anyway, he gets this thing all gutted out. Well, I helped him finish. We get back to the truck and I'm like, oh, it's like fucking 7:15 in the morning. What now? I'm like, well, it's a 2-hour drive back to the house. Let's drive around for a little while, see if we can't find something else. All right. So we drive around and we're doing a little glassing of the clear cuts and all that stuff, and
Just glassing.
And we pull up to this really nice spot of timber that I'd been through quite a few times, and we're out in the Gifford Pinchot National Forest, not far from Elby at this point. And
Mm-hmm.
we're out there, and I'm like, I'm gonna cruise back in here. If you want to like hang out at the truck, that's fine. He's like, no, I'll come with you. I'm like, yeah, but you got a deer in the back of the truck, dude. Let's, we don't want anybody to like take it. And he's like, nah, it'll be fine. I just won't go very far. I'm like, all right. So I cruise back into this plot of timber, and I don't know, we must have been half mile, quarter mile from the truck, and he's like, well, I'm gonna go back. All right. So I kind of cruise up a little farther, and I ended up running into this clear cut, and I glassed it for a little while, and I came back, and he's almost back to the truck when I caught him. And we get back to the truck, and this crow flies out of the back of the truck. Like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have to worry about the people stealing it because the fucking birds were doing a good job.
That is why I told you to hang out.
Yeah, that's what I said. So, anyway, he's all pissed off that the bird was trying to eat his deer. So I'm like, fuck, whatever. Pulled up. Boom. Dumped that bird 25 yards away with the 7mm Magnum. That fucking bird exploded.
Oh my god.
And it was up against a tree. Oh, it was so funny. Anyway. Yeah. So that's one of the things I have in my man box.
Yeah. Well,
and after this summer, I've added another portion of this because I'd never done it before. So I learned how to process a deer. Have you ever, you know what that is?
well, no. What are we talking about?
So
Butchering?
yeah,
All right.
I'm talking about boning it out,
All right.
getting the steaks, grinding the burger up, and all that stuff.
There's a reason why butchers charge you so much money.
Yes, there is.
Because they know what the fuck they're
And they
doing.
are fast.
Oh yeah.
You can watch YouTube videos on this too of people doing deer, elk, pigs, beef, lamb, pretty much any animal you can watch on YouTube. And I tell you what, when they do it and when I do it, it is two totally different ball games. Like
They make it look so easy.
yeah, I suck compared to these guys, and it's kind of sad, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a skill, man. It's a skill that takes quite a bit of time to master, that's for sure. But I'm all about learning how to process your own meat. I just think I think it allows a lot of insight.
So there's a lot of aspects of that. You've got the gutting it, field dressing it, getting the hide off. You got to do that. You have to do that. Then once you get all that done, you've got to bone it all out. You've got to get the back straps off, the loin out, and all that stuff. All right. So I learned how to do this in Alaska this summer. I went up and met my father-in-law and my wife's grandmother while we were up there. And I tell you what, we went on vacation out on this big island. I'm not going to say where it's at or where we were, but it was fucking amazing, dude.
It is a beautiful country.
You were up there on a boat, right?
Yeah, I spent let's see, about 5 summers up there, starting, mid-June to usually just about the beginning of August we'd come back. That's and from 14 to 19, it's an interesting environment to become a man. It's just so crazy up there. It's so Wild West. It's still Wild West. It's crazy.
So we flew in, caught a ferry on day one, took the ferry to this place, this island, and I saw more bears on the first day just getting to where we were going than I've ever seen in my entire life.
I mean, when you roll up onto a grizzly, you're very aware.
These were all black bears.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, we're in Southeast.
Oh.
Yeah.
So where at exactly?
Just outside of Ketchikan.
Oh.
So it's on a big island.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep.
There's not very many people out there, so.
No.
Anyway, yeah, we get out there. There's more black bears on the way to my father-in-law's house than I've ever seen anywhere in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw 4 black bears on the way back.
Yeah.
And the first one, he's like, oh, there's one. I'm like, what? And he jams on the brakes and fucking slides to a stop. And he's like, right there, right on the side of the road. See it? I'm like, oh yeah, there he is. Fuck, right next to that stump. I mean, he was like 10 yards from the road. So he keeps going. Oh, there's another one. I'm like, yep, I see him. It was an experience. And, I want to talk about this. So I'm a city guy. I love hunting. I love getting out in the woods and all that stuff. But going hunting and, camping are one thing. But like, these guys live out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You
don't drive to the grocery store real quick.
No, it's a different lifestyle altogether.
I mean, it's like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
To get to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't just jump in and run to the fucking Minute Mart and get a gallon of milk.
Yeah, and let's establish that this is not your typical Safeway.
No, it's a little mini mart. Most of the stuff comes in on a barge.
Yeah.
Or on a plane.
Yep. Planes are I mean, they're like your semi trucks down here in the lower 48.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
how
and
we
it's
get
not a
things
big plane.
around.
It's a float plane.
Mm-hmm.
They bring
Mhm.
in stuff on the float planes. Mail comes in once a week. It doesn't come in
Mhm.
every day. You don't think about that stuff until you're like out there, living it or doing it or seeing how different it is.
Yeah.
And my phone didn't work up there.
No.
Oh, it was so amazing.
No.
And not having to worry about phone calls coming in,
Yeah.
anything. We had Wi-Fi. So I could make the phone calls. I could check my emails and all that stuff, but I didn't feel obligated to.
Yeah, that's the thing. Do you want to?
No, I didn't want to. I was super excited that I didn't have to deal with that for a week.
Yeah. Are the kids fine? Are the parents fine? Good. Throw
Yeah.
this fucker in the trash.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So, we did a lot of stuff up there. I got to see how the fish hatcheries work. That was really neat. The place that we went to had a pretty good sized salmon hatchery, and I think they said they raise like 1.5 million salmon a year and release them.
Huh.
And then they process like 600,000 salmon. And right there where the fish hatchery is, well, the hatchery is actually up above, but right where the fish trap is, there were bears.
Yeah.
There were bears out there.
Yeah.
I'll post pictures on my Twitter page, guys. At Bacardi Kid on Twitter. So check that out.
I imagine that's their supermarket.
Yeah,
right there.
I watched one mama bear dive into the water about 6 or 7 times, like before she caught one, and it was amazing when she did. So here's let me draw the picture for you. All right, so you've got like a waterfall flowing down into a pretty good sized creek. Some might call it a river. They called it a creek.
Yeah, well, about 10-foot drop or so.
Probably more like 25.
Well, yeah.
And it was 2-tiered. Yeah. So it was like 10, 15 foot drop and then like 10-foot drop.
Just trying to like describe the difference between the waterfalls we have in Washington and how the rivers go there.
Yeah, so this is like scenario. A creek, but it's like, like you think of a creek here as being like 10 feet wide, maybe knee deep. Mm-hmm. This is probably waist deep. This is probably 20 feet wide. It's pretty good sized. Mm-hmm. Good sized. So up there on that first tier, there's this big black bear. And he's just...
Why is it always got to be a black bear, man?
He's a big one, too. He's up there. This big old black bear's up there, and he's just catching salmon. You watch him catch one, and he walks off with it. I'm assuming eats the guts out of it, and then meanders back to get another one. So in the time that it took him to catch 2, that mama bear had finally caught her first one. Mind you, she's got 3 cubs in tow. So I'm up there, I'm watching this bear, and I'm like right down by the river, okay?
So how far away were you guys?
If I had to guess, I was 50 yards.
Oof, that's dangerous territory.
Yeah, we're close. So I'm sitting here watching this black bear, and pretty soon, like, I get this bump on the shoulder, and I'm like, I look, and the daughter's pointing across the river, and I turn, and I jump a little bit, because, like, you're not used to that stuff,
No.
20 feet away, there's that mama bear that's coming up, the one I'm talking about jumping.
Yeah.
She's just across the river from us. Let's just say I'm glad she was on the other side of the river. So she meanders up the river, gets up to this log, and that's where she jumped off about 7 times before she finally caught one.
I can't believe you got that close.
So here's the cool thing. Mama bear walks by, and she's not very big. I bet she's maybe waist high, a little taller than waist high. So she's not like a big one by any means.
300 pounds.
Oh, yeah, I'd put her in that neck of the woods. So pretty soon I get another bump on the shoulder and just pointing across the river again. And I'm like, what? And I look over and there's these 3 little cubs kind of meandering up the river, playing around, waiting for Mama to bring him some salmon. Oh man, it was so cool. Just freaking awesome. And so I get up there and I'm talking to the father-in-law and the guy that kind of runs that hatchery up there, and he's like, man, they're here all the time. We shoot bottle rockets at them, trying to keep them out of the pen, because every once in a while one will get in the pen, and they'll wreak havoc trying to get in there to get to the salmon, because there's like 20,000 fish in the pen or something like that.
And they've got these fun little toys up there that I really haven't seen for a while, because I've been out of the fishing business for quite a bit. But they're called seal bombs. It's basically an M80 sealed off, like waterproof, where you could throw these things and they'll just they're impressive. As a teenager, we used to I know this is kind of bad for the environment, but we used to tape these things to like an aerosol can and a rock. Took a little tabulating, but we figured it out. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm back.
An M5000.
I had to go find them. I have some seal bombs.
Just light one off for the fuck. You're in the garage. Who cares?
Oh, it's so loud. I don't want to scare your kids.
Yeah, but these things were so fun. We'd duct tape it to an aerosol can, and then like a rock, and you'd have to time it just so. But you throw it in the slough at night, and this just awesome, gorgeous fireball underwater. If you got yeah. Oh man,
I did the same thing one time with a mortar shell.
Yeah.
You don't shoot it out of the tube. You just light the fuse and throw it in a pond or a river or whatever, and it lights up the entire area.
Will they are they pretty sealed off? I mean, will they keep burning underwater?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a waterproof fuse, and they're wax covered. What is that clicking? You hear that?
Yeah, I've been
All right,
hearing
I'm gonna stop right there, dude.
Time.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the fourth podcast. Currently, we have 122 minutes of watch time on YouTube with 2 subscribers and a total of 33 views on our 2 videos. That does not include this video. I hope you guys have been enjoying it, and we hope you guys stick around for the next one. Over and out.